성경 말씀 요한복음 4장 5절에서 30절 말씀입니다. 요한복음 4장 5절에서 30절 우리 한 절씩 같이 교독드리도록 하겠습니다. 사마리아에 있는 수가라 하는 동네에 이르시니 야곱이 그 아들 요셉에게 준 땅이 가깝고
거기 또 야곱의 우물이 있더라. 예수께서 길 가시다가 피곤하여 우물 곁에 그대로 앉으시니 때가 6시쯤 되었더라.
사마리아 여자 한 사람이 물을 기르러 왔음에 예수께서 물을 좀 달라 하시니
이는 제자들이 먹을 것을 사러 그 동네에 들어갔음이로라.
사마리아 여자가 이르되 당신은 유대인으로서 어찌하여 사마리아 여자인 나에게 물을 달라 하나이까 하니 이는 유대인이 사마리아인과 상종하지 아니함이니라.
예수께서 대답하여 이르시되 내가 만일 하나님의 선물과 또 내가 그에게 구하였을 것이요 그가 생수를 내게 주었으리라.
여자가 이르되 주여 물기를 그릇도 없고 이 물은 깊은데 어디서 당신이 그 생수를 얻겠사옵나이까?
우리 조상 야곱이 이 우물을 우리에게 주셨고 또 여기서 자기와 자기 아들들과 짐승이 다 마셨는데 당신이 야곱보다 더 크니이다.
예수께서 대답하여 이르시되 이 물을 마신 자마다 다시 목마르리니와
내가 주는 물을 마시는 자는 영원히 목마르지 아니하리니 내가 주는 물은 그 속에서 영생하도록 솟아나는 샘물이 되리라.
여자가 이르되 주여 그런 물을 내게 주사 목마르지도 않고 또 여기 물 기르러 오지도 않게 하옵소서.
이르시되 가서 내 남편을 불러오라.
여자가 대답하여 이르되 나는 남편이 없나이다. 예수께서 이르시되 내가 남편이 없다 하는 말이 옳도다.
너에게 남편 5이 있었고 지금 있는 자도 내 남편이 아니니 내 말이 참되도다.
여자가 이르되 주여 내가 보니 선지자로소이다.
우리 조상들은 이 산에서 예배하였는데 당신들의 말은 예배할 곳이 예루살렘에 있다 하더이다.
예수께서 이르시되 여자여 내 말을 믿으라. 이 산에서도 말고 예루살렘에서도 말고 너희가 아버지께 예배할 때가 이르리라.
너희는 알지 못하는 것을 예배하고 우리는 아는 것을 예배하노니 이는 구원이 유대인에게서 남이라.
아버지께 참되게 예배하는 자들은 영과 진리로 예배할 때가 오나니 곧 이때라. 아버지께서는 자기에게 이렇게 예배하는 자들을 찾으시느니라.
하나님은 영이시니 예배하는 자가 영과 진리로 예배할지니라.
여자가 이르되 메시아 곧 예수 그리스도라 하느니가 오실 줄을 내가 아노니 그가 오시면 모든 것을 우리에게 알려주시리라.
예수께서 이르시되 내게 말하는 내가 그라 하시니라.
이때 제자들이 돌아와서 예수께서 여자와 말씀하신 것을 이상히 여겼으나 무엇을 구하시니까 어찌하여 그와 말씀하시나이까 물은 자가 없더라.
여자가 물동이를 버려두고 동네로 들어가서 사람들에게 이르되
내가 행한 모든 일을 내게 말한 사람을 와서 보라. 이는 그리스도가 아니니 하니
그들이 동네에서 나와 예수께로 오더라. 아멘.
우리 닥터 윌슨 목사님 나오실 때 우리 한 번 더 감사하는 마음에서 박수 맞이해 주시면 고맙겠습니다. Okay, let me try.
It is indeed an honor to preach, and it is a special honor to be here with you today to worship with you.
예, 우리 식구들 영어 다 알아들으신 줄 믿습니다. 예, 번역을 하라니까 제가 대신 우리 이 자리에 예배 함께 드리러 와서 너무 영광이고 감사하다고 말씀하셨습니다.
Your music is so lively.
우리 찬양 팀들의 그 음악이 너무 마음에 와 닿았다고 말씀하십니다.
Jesus talks with a woman at the well, and this just isn't right. She's a woman, and in that culture, it was not appropriate for a man to have a private conversation with a strange woman. Furthermore, she's a Samaritan, and other Jews do not speak with Samaritans. And yet, here they are. He engages her in conversation. He understands her situation and offers her hope. He cares for what's going on in her life. It would help to have some understanding of the cultural context out of which Jesus operated. Jesus was a Jew, a rabbi. The practice I will describe is written in the Mishnah. The Mishnah is the first written collection of ancient rabbinic traditions and teachings from hundreds of years before Jesus. The Mishnah is a compendium, a collection that was completed around 200 years after Jesus' birth. But the teachings, the practices it contains were hundreds of years old. One part of that collection is called Midat. It means norms, how we do things, how we should maintain the community of faith. And one of these ancient practices shows deep understanding of the human spirit. When your heart is broken, when the specter of death visits your family, when you feel lost and alone, and you're inclined to retreat, you show up. You entrust your pain to the community. The Midat, chapter 2, section 2, dating from the time of about the Second Temple, describes a ritual that was part of the pilgrimage to Jerusalem. Jerusalem was the center of Jewish religious and political life. And for special occasions, thousands of Jews would make the pilgrimage, ascending the steps and turning right to walk counterclockwise around the top. And the brokenhearted, the mourners, the lonely, the sick in spirit would make the same pilgrimage, but they would turn to the left and circle clockwise against the mainstream those who were well, encountering someone going the other way, should look into their eyes and ask, "What happened to you? Why does your heart ache?" And they might say, "My father died. There are so many things I never got to say to him." Or, "My business partner left. I was totally blindsided." Or, "My child is ill." And those who walked from the right might respond with a blessing. "May the Holy One comfort you." Or, "You are not alone." And then they might continue their walk. Now, did everyone do this? Probably not. Most assuredly not. It's a recommended practice, a teaching that speaks to what it means to be human in a world of pain. One year, you walk the path of the anguished, and maybe later the roles are reversed. I hold your broken heart, knowing that you will hold mine. And all of Jesus' miracles, his teachings, stories like the woman at the well, need to be understood in the context of rabbinic teachings, such as this one from the Mishnah. At a time when many of us feel that evil is too loose in the world, we feel like we are breaking, two teachings emerge. First, step toward those that you know will hold you tenderly. Don't sit alone with your broken heart. Don't withdraw. And on your good days, those days that you can breathe, show up then too. Because meeting those who are walking against the current, those who can barely hold on, and asking about their sorrow is perhaps the deepest affirmation of our humanity. Many people are uncomfortable in the presence of sorrow. But our presence says, "I'm not abandoning you. I'm right here." Our presence becomes incarnational. We cannot fix one another's broken hearts, but we can find our way to each other. We can show that God cares. This ancient rabbinic teaching helps me to understand the nature of the church. We don't need grand gestures. We just need to show up for each other, even when instinct would pull us away. Just pick up the phone and call our friend or colleague who's going through a bad time. Go to the funeral and sit with the one who mourns. It also means going to the wedding and to the birthday dinner to help celebrate. When we are well, we should reach out. And when in pain, step forward. Like Jesus and the woman at the well, we need to nurture our capacity to find our way to each other. When we don't even try to understand what's behind another person's pain, our hearts shrink. We become less. And external factors like racism, white nationalism, or war intensify this constriction of the heart. So, the first lesson is, rather than turning away, let's step toward, like Jesus at the well. That's the first thing. Now, here's the second lesson from that ancient text. On pilgrimage, those who grieve or are unwell enter the sacred circle and go left when everybody else is going right. And the text offers that there is another who turns to the left, the one who has been ostracized. In Hebrew, the menuda, the punishment, was used sparingly, and it was only temporary. During their menuda, they were not counted in the prayer quorum, and they were barred from most social interactions. And yet, they could still enter that sacred space where they too were asked, "What happened to you? What's your story?" And they were blessed. Even the ancient rabbis ask us to be a society in which even those who have caused harm to the community must be seen in their humanity and held with curiosity and care. Imagine a society in which we learn to see pain in others, and we learn to be seen, and we ask, what happened? Here in the fellowship of Christ, we can meet and hear one another's stories and be present with each other, like Jesus with the woman at the well. Will you pray with me? Merciful God, teach us to turn to each other and to bear one another's burdens to your glory. Amen.